Two teams with plenty of close calls and lots to build on, but as the old saying goes, close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. It's the Blackhawks versus the Falcons live on Wednesday Night Hockey here at the Ice Arena on beautiful Ghana land. I'm Eric Balnar, joined by the Tigers, Ryan Fohl, and the Jokers, Jeremy Friedrich. Both play with the Adelaide Adrenaline, truly the best minds here to call this game for you wherever you may be watching. Boys, I'll cut right to the chase. Two last place teams, each with one win. They got to turn the season around in a hurry.
There's a really good goalie battle tonight that I'm looking forward to. We've got Kingy coming back from an injury, Batustrinka, one of the best up-and-coming goalies, so it could still be a really, really good game tonight.
Yeah, and two teams that are playing a lot better hockey in the last few games, so competing really well with those top three sides, so it'll be interesting to see how they go against each other here.
Yeah, and when they've gone against each other in the past, we've had some interesting games. We'll start with the first time that these teams played into each other, and boy, it was a great game. It ended in overtime. It was 3-on-3, and Reese Page goes top corner, right where the mama keeps the good stuff. Gave the Blackhawks their first and only win of the year, but it's gone downhill from there for the Blackhawks, including the last time they played the Falcons, where the Falcons were just all over right from the get-go on the Blackhawks.
Yeah, and I think that comes down to goaltending for the Blackhawks. They didn't have the big man Peter King in net, and he stands tall for him in net, so it'll be really interesting to see with him in net tonight if they can keep up with him.
Well, the Falcons have done a really good job this season of just making teams work and not letting them play their systems, and I think that's made the biggest difference maker in the last couple of games. They did that really well against the Blackhawks, didn't let them set up, didn't let them do anything, and they've carried that momentum throughout their last couple of games. They've looked like a completely different team than they did at the start of the season. It
was a 7-1 victory in that game, and Kyle Cinco had 2 goals and 2 assists in that one. Connor Smith really played well. Josh Holland, that guy on camera, was excellent as well. But as you talked about at the beginning of the broadcast, one guy back in the lineup who's just standing in the corner right now is Pete King. He played the first couple games for the Blackhawks. They were much more competitive when Pete King was in net for this Blackhawks team.
Yeah, King is an experienced goalie. We've been able to watch him play for many years now. He's probably one of the older goalies in the league, but that doesn't show when we watch him play. He's very athletic, very quick. His reactions are second to none in many ways, and it'll be really good to see how he comes back from this injury and plays a big game tonight for him.
On the other hand, it's Batustrinka. Those are his numbers, but the numbers don't tell the whole story because he hasn't always had the most support in front of him. Sometimes he's facing upwards of 50 shots a night.
Yeah, that's it. And last time we played him, he was phenomenal for him. I think he kept it a 3-2 game pretty much the whole game, and we kind of blew it out a little bit late, but he keeps them in games every single game, night in, night out. So those stats don't really do him justice. So
we're halfway through the season, and if teams can start to string together some wins and beat teams ahead of them, they can make a run for it. It starts by winning tonight, and it's a tough task. But both teams have had some close calls recently, as you talked about at the beginning of the game. A 6-4 loss for the Falcons to the Jokers just recently, and your team, Jeremy, they gave you a hell of a run in that game, didn't they? Yeah,
they did exactly what I was talking about earlier, is they didn't let us play our game. They did a really good job of just keeping us under pressure and keeping us working hard, and it got to a point where we really struggled to get anything going against them.
The last game the Blackhawks played, they lost 6-4, and that guy on screen, Jared Siemens, had 3 points. He was excellent versus you. And on the Falcons in the game that you played there, Zolly, Andrew Zoltarov, he's a guy that controls the tempo through the play. 2 key players to watch tonight.
Yeah, that's it. Well, Zolly's been around for a long time now, played through the Adrenaline system for a really long time, so really reliable defenseman. You know what you're going to get with him, and he also provides some offense. And then, yeah, Jared Siemens, great pickup for the Blackhawks as well. Definitely their most dominant offensive player.
Look on your screen there of Kyle Collier, who's making a return back to the Prem side today, a guy that can provide a little bit more offense for a Blackhawks team that need it. And you did see the Blackhawks start to get things rolling a bit more versus the Tigers on Monday night versus, that's your boys, Fola.
Yeah, well, that's it. And well, you face every team 5 times in the season throughout the year, so you're going to figure out how teams play, and not every game's going to be a blowout, but like I said at the start there, both these teams playing some much better hockey in the last few games, and it'll be really interesting to see how this one goes.
There's the umpires, the referees. Dave Gall being the chief today. He actually plays for the Red Wings. Beth Beauchal and Damian Smith are your linesmen in the game today. Well, if we cut it down to it, the one thing the Falcons need to do today to win the game, Jeremy?
For me, it's get under Pete King's skin early. They have to get an early goal or two because that's going to set the tempo. when the goalie's coming back fresh from injury, they're not necessarily as sharp as they would be. So it's just about getting that first couple goals early, and then they can dictate the play and the tempo.
And if in about an hour and a half from now we're looking back and saying the Blackhawks have beat the Falcons and got their season back on a roll, Ryan Full, what is the thing that they've done well?
I want to see a few more guys other than Siemens, Zach Steele chip in on the offensive end. I think if they're going to beat the Falcons and get some past Matus, it's going to be a full team effort here.
It's the secondary scoring that you're looking for.
Correct.
It's the Falcons, it's the Blackhawks, two teams desperate for a win, live on NITV and Spacequake Sports. We're underway on beautiful Ghana land, and the Blackhawks in black try to power their way up the rink right away, and they're quickly offside. That was Dan Riccardi leading that one ahead. But boys, it should be a very interesting game. I'm really hoping it's kind of like that first time we saw the very first game of the season.
Yeah, well, and it looks like it's going to be with the way they're playing. Like we've just said over and over again here, they're both playing really well. So there's no reason why it shouldn't be. Peking back in net for the Blackhawks, and Matus as handy as ever.
Peking leaves it off to Zach Steele, who gives it away in front of the net. And already trying to get in close for an opportunity was the Falcons. Battling away in the corner. Cinco had that one tipped away, and this goes back to the point, and it's picked up by Cinco. Cinco has this tip back towards the middle of the ice. Josh Holland, he's the leading goal scorer for the Falcons. He stepped up with two of their big guns that left last year, and Josh Holland with 10 points this year has stepped in where the hole with Rezik and Kubek departing was gone.
Yeah, and very underrated in my opinion as well with the season that the Falcons are having as well. They haven't been in many games, and to have 10 points on a team that's struggling like the Falcons is probably worth a bit more than 10.
Tyson Boyd wins the draw. He'll be looked to a lot to carry the load for the Blackhawks, but it's the Falcons carrying it deep into the zone. This will be a reworked second line. It'll be centered around by Quinton Tombleson. Tristan Reese tries to pinch in there. Tombleson slashes it around in the corner, and it's dug out by Reese Page. Page chips it out to the point. It's kept in by Smith. Back behind the goal to collect it are the Blackhawks and James Hearn, and it goes all the way back in behind the goal, and it's picked up by Reese Page. Page off the boards. Can they clear? They finally do. Hearn can't find the puck behind him, and a bit of a sloppy and choppy play as the Falcons have this go behind the net. Pete King rattles it around the boards, deflects all the way to the neutral zone, and the Falcons will just try to settle this thing down. Damon Hode was back there for the Falcons. He's been a nice mid-season addition and part of the Falcons' positive step forward. Both teams, though, desperate for a win tonight. Ambrose Foster back from injury, long lead pass ahead. It goes through everybody. Icing waved off, and there's already a Blackhawk down there digging away. Working down in the corner, Caleb Starr. Starr walks in front of the net. That's tipped away, and it goes all the way back out. Not quite out. Zach Steele powering towards the net, working on the backhand, and the Falcons will try to take advantage of the defenseman pinching up, but they couldn't complete a pass.
Yeah, both teams just sort of feeling each other out here a bit to start with. Haven't seen a whole lot. Just a bit chippy in the neutral zone, but I think we've got a lot more to come here.
Henry Shiansky tries to chip this one forward. Can't quite clear the zone. Shot in front, Starr scores! Caleb Starr with his second of the year opens the scoring on the 1T, and it's Blackhawks 1, Falcons nothing.
Yeah, great connection there. Nice little play from Foster through the crease, straight over the other side, and a really, really nice connection to put that in the back of the net.
Yeah, that was a real good play. I think you can see the D being a bit lax there. It's early in the game. They haven't really found their feet yet. It's a really good thing for the Blackhawks to get an early one on Trinker here because, again, he's a goalie that if you let settle into a game, he will play unreal and he'll keep you out all night. So this could be really handy for them to get their season back on track.
It's already a much better start. I think they were down 5-0, the Blackhawks, about halfway through that first period, and what was honestly just a nightmare start the last time these two teams played. They'll be a lot more confident and settle with that one.
Yeah, and there's some secondary scoring to start the game as well.
Exactly what you talked about off the top of the broadcast, Ryan Full, as Dave Dump Truck Madsen plays this in behind the goal. I think it goes around for icing, so we'll have a draw all the way back the other direction. There's a look at Quinton Tombleson. He chips in with a few goals. He's going to be asked to carry a lot on the second line today, moving off the top line with outs from guys like Corey Smith, who's injured, not able to play in the lineup, and Jared Chester, who's out sick.
But he's a quality player, and you know that you're going to get a lot from him every night. He always works hard. He's not your flashiest player out there, but Coach Smith knows how to use him, and he uses him well. So it'll be good to see how he does on this line.
Draw back at the center line, and the Blackhawks will take it away. Jared Siemens, fresh off a three-point game, gets it to Zach Steele. He had a couple points the other night versus the Tigers, too. Trent Machos, Reggie as he's known, works his way in, tips it back to the point. Madsen can't quite hold the line, and Zach Steele, the captain, back in the lineup, moves it up there. Looks like Zach Steele moving up and playing forward. He started the season off playing defense. As Zach Steele has a chance in front of the net. Steele! Oh, he put that one just wide.
Yeah, I think Coach Gaynors there has actually started him in defense, but he's given him the freedom to roam around. So he's going to be playing defense tonight, but he's the kind of player that gets all over the ice, and his team will have to be really aware of that and cover him when they can. He's
got a lot of size and skill. He's probably someone that the Blackhawks really need to help shoulder load defensively. They've got some nice pieces with guys like Jared Siemens. And they have some skill guy there. I think they're still just figuring each other out. Falcons try to chip it up the board. Reese Page. Page just in his second year playing Premier League after converting from playing inline. This one slapped out of play. It goes high and out.
And out of the two teams here, it seems like the Blackhawks are the ones to settle first. Some really, really nice defensive chances to start the game.
Yeah, you saw a good chance from Zach Steele in front of the net. Trinka, I think, just got a pad on it.
It was. And again, it's going to be important for Trinka to settle in. You probably don't want your first two shots being a, backdoor one-timer and then one that's right in front with no one on him.
Draw one by Tyson Boyd. Tries to chip out the point. Nick Wellen can't hold the line, and here comes a break for Cinco. And scooting all the way back was Reese Page. He's got some speed, Reese, doesn't he?
Yeah, those inline wheels really come into play here. He's been playing that sport for a long time.
Kowalchuk nudges a man off the puck, and it's picked up by Page. Page drops it back. It was the right idea, very creative, but nobody was on the receiving end, and it's the team in blue in the Falcons dumping it around the corner.
Yeah, probably just need to hold on to the puck for a little bit longer there, Reese. He had a bit of time ahead of him, let everyone catch up, and then make the play.
Tyson Boyd going the other direction. He's nudged off the puck as well. Team's having trouble. It's a bouncing disc around there. It's like a game of hot potato. Connor Smith, one of the best young players in the state in his second Premier League season. A team that they're looking to build around this club, the Falcons. Josh Holland chips it ahead. Henry Shiansky chases after this, but Madsen slows it down and chips it off the boards. But it's a turnover, and back towards the point. Damon Hode swinging around, keeps it in. Holland chips it off the board, and it's picked up by Madsen. Madsen will slow things back down. Ambrose Foster is back on the back check, but Shiansky comes up with a turnover. Shiansky chips it towards the center of the ice, and Ambrose Foster there to scoop this one up. Tries a nifty little pass towards the left side. Blackhawks have to get back onside as players were jumping all over the line, and Damon Hode banks it off the boards. Madsen there once again. A big body, Dave Madsen, played for the Avalanche way back when, back in the early 2000s. Big hit on the boards, turnover, Tomlinson fires one in, and Pete King in the game with his first glove save.
Yeah, 7 minutes it's taken for the Falcons to get a real good chance, which is probably a little bit different to what they've been doing throughout these last couple of games, where they've started well, they've kept the tempo up. I think it's a little bit more of a struggle to settle in here, and it's really good for King to get that early save.
Yeah, Blackhawks haven't really given them a chance to set up offensively here. Blackhawks have settled into this game much better.
Tomlinson tries a quick one off the draw, but it's Machos that chips this away to the right side. Riccardi with some space, with some speed, fires a shot, and that rockets high and out of play.
And I think the counter-attacking speed as well. The Blackhawks have got more players tonight. That's going to make a difference throughout the game. You're going to see the Falcons get a lot more tired, and you're going to see chances like Riccardi just got, just a bit of speed down the wing. They're probably not going to challenge you as much because they're not as energetic and they don't have as much energy left in them. So that's going to make a difference as well, but I think Trinka will be up to the task.
Already that secondary scoring that Ryan Fohl said to look out for. Looking to see if they could step up tonight for the Blackhawks, making a difference as Caleb Starr slapped home a pass from Ambrose Foster to beat Matrus Trinka about 3 minutes into this game, and that is the difference, 1-0. Siemens swivels back, Steele chips it forward, Cinco chops it back. Cinco of the Jack variety, a couple Cincos playing on this Falcons team. Quentin Tomlinson along the far boards, chops this one down into the corner. The captain, Zach Steele, one of the younger captains in the league. This goes off the back of Dave Gallen. Steele will have to clear it again. Chops it off the boards. Machos trying to get there. Falcons come away with it. They might be away 2-on-1. Henry Keane going towards the net. It's Tristan Reese that picks this up, and it goes off a leg and into the corner. Henry Keane centering play. Man open in the slot. Reese gets a shot at it and chipping in with Zolly, and Zoltarov just put this above.
Yeah, you can already see Zoltarov popping in there. I think that's something that Coach Smith's going to be looking for. You see that space open up, and he's the first one in that space. He's such a smart defenseman because he knows exactly when to pinch and when to stay back.
Love a little heads-up play from Tristan Reese there to just not turn around and fire that, but notice that Zolly's in a much better position and just chip it over to him.
Skirmish for it off the center line, and it goes into the corner. Tyson Boyd working against Kowalchuk, and Josh Holland comes away with it, and Pete King just slows down the play. That's one thing you notice about Pete King. He can control the tempo a little bit better.
Yeah, and that comes with experience. You know, he's played for so long, he's played in such high levels now that he can do things like that, and he's going to be relied upon very, very highly on the defensive zone coverage and things like that, because he talks to his team a lot in there.
Yeah. Played for a while in the AIHL with you, Ryan Full.
Yeah, that's it. He's very calm in net. I've always noticed that about him. Very, very hard to move him out of position, and he's always in the right spot.
Draw one again, and King was trying to scurry on that one. As Blackhawks tip this forward. Tyson Boyd, another adrenaline long-time player, works down the right side, bumped off the puck by Smith. Boyd gets it again, whips a pass and cross. Reese Page was moving in, couldn't quite get a stick on it. Page battling against Cinco. Back to the point. Welland, a long shot in from the point. It had some heat to it, but it's right to the chest of Mateusz Trinka.
Yeah, you're not going to score on a goalie like Mateusz without anything in front. I think that was a very, very clear shot for him to have. And you can see just here in this new view that we've got, he comes out, he challenges the player, and he's at the top of his crease. Can't really see the blue paint there, but that's what you need to do to cut down the angle.
Draw one by the Blackhawks. They try a centering play, and we'll go back towards the center line, picked up by Madsen. Hearn. Banks off the boards to Madsen. It goes over his stick, and again, pinching in with Cinco. He shovels this down to the corner. Sorry, Zoltarov shuffled this down to the corner, and it's Shiansky going to work with Cinco back behind the goal. And Pete King scampers out of there. He thinks he has the puck. He doesn't. Either way, the whistle is blown dead.
Yeah, it looks like referee Dave Gower just lost sight of it there. Fair enough. Very hard to see through all that traffic.
Lucky for Pete King, probably, because that was sitting plump in the paint, ready to be scooped up.
Yeah, and the one thing I noticed with that play as well is that with the Blackhawks playing some forwards in defense, there's sometimes going to be lapses, and there was a little bit of open space there. There was no defense right in front of the net.
I wonder if both teams will use that pinching defense strategy. You've seen it with Zoltarov already. You've seen it with Steele on the other end. Long shot comes through for the point. It's shouldered away from Pete King, and there's Zach Steele. Evades one man, and he's created a 2-on-1. He's got Lesky and Foster with him. Steele stops, fires it in front. It was a great pass, and Lesky just couldn't quite bank it in. Zach Steele showing some silky smooth moves, but they couldn't quite convert. Back the other direction. Keane picks it up. Pete King plays this off to Caleb Starr, the goal scorer, and he fumbles with this. Robbie Richards banks it back to the left point. Zoltarov plays it through. Is a good tip from Keane, and that one goes wide. Steele, once again, works his way through one man, through his own teammate, over the center line. He's got two Falcons to beat. Backhand, shovel pass in front, and a Blackhawk was there in Siemens, who couldn't quite get a shot on goal. Siemens tries to kick it to himself in the corner. Zach Steele playing back down low, and Kowalchuk will go cover at the point, and the Falcons will try to get it out. Siemens blocks it, fires one. It was a good shot, goes wide. Falcons pick it up in the corner. Kept in by Kowalchuk. Great move from Kowalchuk. Kowalchuk in tight, off of a man in front, and Tomlinson will try to chop it the other way. Holland couldn't settle it down. Machos, backhanded pass. Siemens can't handle, and picked up again by Kowalchuk. Around one man, in over the zone, to the right, shot on net, and it just couldn't get through a block of, or a sea of blue in front of the net, and the Blackhawks will go back to work behind the goal.
Yeah, Falcons doing a much better job defensively here. They're not really giving the Blackhawks a whole lot of room in that slot area.
Kowalchuk slaps one in behind the goal. Wrapped around the boards. Blackhawks hold the line. Holland trying to push off Siemens. Chop in front of the net. Machos settles it down, and he pushes this one wide. Tomlinson will just lift this one, and they'll get a much-needed relief as a couple Falcons will go off for a line change.
Yeah, that's a pretty smart play from Quinton Tomlinson as well there. They've been trapped in their own end for long enough. Doesn't want to do anything silly with it, just chips it out, gives everyone the chance to change. Siemens
goes all the way behind the net, and he has to play it back down low, and the Falcons will finally play it back, and it's picked up by Welland. Welland almost gives this one away. Good recovery. Shiansky gloves this one down, and it goes back to Welland. Nick Welland has only played a couple games for the squad so far, but he's helped settle down this team a little bit. Adds another number on the back end for the Blackhawks. Holland, the leading point getter for the Falcons, slips through the defense, and he goes into the corner. Just about 6 minutes to play. A clean game. No penalties yet either, as Tyson Boyd back checking, backs off his man. Reese Page tries to settle it down. Welland gets intercepted by Cinco. Holland tries to get through, just choppy play. They can't make that final connection. And Tyson Boyd, much like Tomlinson earlier, will just lift this to the center and get the team a little bit of a break, but it goes for icing.
Yeah, and I think what you're going to see here tonight from both teams is it's going to be waves of momentum. Blackhawks started this game with a ton of momentum. Falcons is bringing it back onto their own terms in the last 5-10 minutes here.
Yeah, it's very back and forth because you've got two different matched teams. You know, you've got a lot of offense in one sense for the Blackhawks, but the Falcons are a lot more structured and a lot more defensive in the way they play. So it's a really good way to watch how they compensate for each other.
Keen centering play goes all the way through everyone but the net off its bearing. So 5 to go. Caleb Starr's lone goal 3 minutes in has the Blackhawks up 1-0.
And with two goalies like this, you might be surprised to say that you know, there's not going to be many more goals, but especially in a hockey game with such high-scoring scores, and especially throughout this season, you haven't seen many low-scoring games. This could very well be one of them. You've got two goalies that are probably better than the quality of players they're facing. But that being said, the defense sometimes needs to do their job too.
It's an interesting point you made because that first game of the year, it was 2-2. There was great saves on both ends, and it was in 3-on-3 overtime, which, you know, most teams are going to find a way to score a goal on 3-on-3, so there's no harm in allowing a 3-on-3 goal.
No, and the beauty of the way this league's set up is that you still get a point for the overtime, and all you're playing for is that extra point. Whether it ends in a tie and you both get one, or whether you go to overtime and get the extra point. So you see a lot of offense, which is very good for fans, probably not for goalies, but
Foster centering play. You're absolutely right about that, though, as Foster had a chance, and that's where their points have come from. It's been 2 points for the Blackhawks and 4 points for the Falcons. They got that loser point as they shared those 3 points in this competition. We had one tie this year where no one got that winner point. That was in a game with the Red Wings and the Tigers where it was 3-3 and both teams ended up just with 1 point. No one could get that extra handy tally, which might come out handy at the end of the season.
Yeah, that was I think that was on the stream as well, but that was a very tired overtime from both teams. Very short on numbers on both benches, and yeah, not a whole lot of offense produced on that 3-on-3.
Both teams had 2 lines in that game, and I've noticed after that it's been 3 lines for both teams pretty steadily the rest of the way. Lesson learned early in the season. Steele trying to hold the line, but a good job from Keane to hold his man, and Treese was almost away, but Zach Steele gets back to create a little disruption, make it a little more difficult for the Falcons to move forward. Steele holds, Siemens right side, Siemens deep, and he gets steered around the back of the net, finally corrals it. He couldn't quite get that crisp pass. I think it went off a stick, and Henry Keane, who's playing some valuable minutes at defense, collects it and wraps it around the boards. Can the Falcons clear? They will. Cinco tries to push it forward. Kowalchuk does a good job getting back to help hold the line, and we're going to get the first penalty call of the day. There was a late check from Reggie Machos in behind the man, and I think that's what he's going to go off for either checking from behind or cross-checking, I think, and it's going to be the first Agile Group power play.
Yeah, it looked like it would have been from behind there, or maybe a rough, because it wasn't too intentional or anything like that, so we'll see.
And that's just what the Falcons needed as well. We had a bit of a sloppy last few minutes, but now they got a chance to tie the game heading into the second period.
And invaluably, in the last minute in this league, it's stop time, and that's going to eat into this Agile Group power play, so they might have a few more extra moments than you would otherwise in the game. Smith at the point, corrals it through, tipped in the corner. Tomlinson, he's moved up to the top power play unit, trying to get a goal. Holland on the right side. Holland stops, gets it back to the point. Wristed through traffic with Zoltarov, and Tomlinson grabs it behind the goal. He shuffles this in front, and there's Pete King. He's going to try to eat up as many seconds as possible. This penalty will end at about the minute, or about the 14-second mark on your screen, this Agile Group power play.
Yeah, and Falcons have quite a dangerous-looking power play out there, especially up on the point. You got Andrew Zoltarov, Connor Smith. That's a pretty dangerous combo to have on the point. You don't want to give them too much room.
And they'll win the draw cleanly, the Blackhawks, and send it the length of the ice. Ambrose Foster is there first to put a little bit of pressure on Matusz Trinka, who plays it up the right wing, and a big hit near along the boards. It was delivered by Tyson Boyd. He's done that a few times, but Connor Smith evades a man, gets in deep. Falcons will set up, sharp angle shot from Smith. Pete King's down, and he smothers it on top of that puck and eat away some more valuable seconds.
Yeah, good job from the Blackhawks too. If you are going to play the body on a penalty kill, you want to make sure you're not letting that guy get past you. That's a nice hit.
It was a great save from Kingy too, but that being said, they did have a bit of a struggle there in the neutral zone with those hits. A couple guys committed, and all of a sudden the Falcons were back the other way, so it's really risky. to make sure that you're not too aggressive on a power play, because you do end up with a lot more space open for the other team.
We are in stop time now, so there's 55 seconds to go in the period and 43 seconds to go on the power play for the Falcons on this agile group power play. Special teams can make a big difference. It was in our broadcast last week. We saw it. The Red Wings allowed 3 goals while shorthanded. The Joker scored 3 times with the power play, and it was a 3-goal game. That was the difference. Tomlinson powers in front of the net on the backhand. Riccardi tips it away, and it's slashed all the way out. Trinko will greet that. 45 seconds to go in the period, 30 seconds to go in the agile group power play as Cinco carries it in. Holland now working on the opposite wing. You saw him before. Blackhawks try to clear. Intercepted by Smith. Shot through traffic. Holland was in front of the net. No, weird loose play at the side. Pete King. He's going to get some claims from Zoltarov that maybe he kicked off the net. Zolly's shaking his net. What do you think, goaltender Jeremy Friedrich? Intentional? Nah, it doesn't look like it.
No, it doesn't. And these nets are a little bit roughed up now. They've been around for a few years, especially with a big goalie like Kingy or any of the goalies you see in this league. We're pretty rough on our post because at the end of the day, we have to do what we have to make the save. So
it is very frustrating as a player to see that happen on such a great opportunity. But yeah, like you said, Kingy's a big boy, and those posts are designed to fall off when they do have some pressure applied to him. So
Zoltarov had some speed. It was intercepted by Jared Siemens, and with 15 seconds to go, it's chopped back in the line. The power play comes to an end. Falcons don't get too many opportunities. Will they have one last chance with the seconds peeling off the clock? Tomlinson out wide. Tomlinson with a shot on goal. Pete King makes the save with 4 seconds left on a good opportunity off the rush.
Yeah, that's probably the best save of the game for Pete King, to be honest, because that's a very dangerous spot to give Quinton Tomlinson all that time.
It was, and if you notice, he's at the top of his crease again. We were talking about that before with Trinka. You have to come out, be aggressive, cut down the angles. Then the shooters have got nothing to shoot at. It's a really small net if you play it properly.
Draw is one. It doesn't really evade to anything, as that will end the first period. Caleb Starr, the difference on a setup from Ambrose Foster, and the Blackhawks have a 1-0 lead after one. Eric, Ryan, and Jeremy back with you after this. Blackhawks and Falcons battling away, looking for some valuable points. Two teams near the bottom of the standings trying to turn their season around. Caleb Starr has the goal, his second of the year for the Blackhawks. It's Eric, Ryan, and Jeremy joining you live on beautiful Donna Land at the Ice Arena. Boys, an interesting first period. Not much between the teams.
Yeah, sorry, Jeremy. And the only thing separating the two teams is a goal that got the goalies moving. Pass across the crease, one-timer, straight past Matus. That's really the only shot that we've seen that's really got the goalies moving so far.
Yeah, and it's been the difference maker, just like you said. You really need to make these two top goalies move if they're going to make any mistakes tonight.
Shiansky has a long pass go ahead, and I think Cinco just grabbed that a little bit offside. But you're right, getting the goalies side to side, that might be the difference. Eric, Ryan, Jeremy with you. If you have any questions at all, make sure you pop it down in the live stream chat here on the Ice Arena page. I'm sure we have two very smart minds. Well, yeah, we have pretty smart minds. And Ryan Full plays to the Adrenaline and the Jokers, and Jeremy Friedrich, Adrenaline and the Jokers. Sorry, Ryan Full's the Tigers. He wishes he played for the Jokers, I'm sure.
We'll see about that.
Holland
Saturday.
Plays it right side. Yeah, it'll be a good matchup here at Saturday night by the rink. If you're not doing anything, bar will be open, good to go. Here's a break, though, for the Falcons. Lesky working down low, and he just couldn't handle the puck. It just slipped away a little bit on him. Pinching in is Kowalchuk. Kept in. Shot from the point from Steele. Trinka steers that one aside. Cinco working along the corner. Gets this back, and Ambrose Foster being an early factor with that assist, but he gives this one away, but Foster chases after that. That goes out of play. He'll be all right with that.
Yeah, interesting to note. Next Falcon too, one that went over there, so he'll be happy with that point. I think that'll make him extra happy than any other points he's had this season. Just being involved in scoring against the old team always makes a difference as well.
Yeah, that's it. You always play with that little bit of extra edge when you're facing the old boys. You've got a point to prove every time you see them.
Falcons lost a few players at the end of the season, including defenseman Adam Wise, scorers Jan Kubak and Joseph Rezik, and also Ambrose Foster has a big collision over at the blue line. That was between Tyson Boyd again. He's been a factor physically. Kyle Collier along the right side. Chipped away, and this goes back out towards the center line and grabbed by the Blackhawks. Played on the left side. Hearn gets it up to Collier. Collier with some speed, closing it tight, goes to the other end of the net, and it just goes wide. He had a corner to pick, and he couldn't quite find it.
Yeah, nice use of the speed there out wide, and cut in with some room.
Madsen plays this back behind. Hearn grabs it. Hearn on the backhand, plays it around the corner. Boyd chips this up once again, and it's grabbed by Keane. And Keane has his pocket picked. Reese Page was almost going the other direction. Back at the center line, Tombleson. He's got 4 goals on the season. One of them was against these Blackhawks in the first game of the season. Nachos centering play. Siemens, 3 points in his last game. And the leading point getter for the Blackhawks. He's in tight, drops this off. Riccardi, hat trick out of net, and he went down and got the pad on the ice to make the save. But a nice job from Jared Siemens.
Yeah, and a nice job from Matus Drinker as well. They tracked that whole play down. I think if we get a replay of that, you'll see there Riccardi in front of the net. If he just takes a little bit more time, he's got a backdoor pass with an empty net because he pulled Matus so far out.
Yeah, you have to challenge that as a goalie because it's really hard to play when you've got a backdoor as well, but you really can't give that shooter any space, especially in a league like this where the guys can pick corners so easily.
Draw comes to the right of the goaltender, trying to hold the line. Wellen does. He now has a bit of ice in front of him. Wellen drops it off to Riccardi, rips a shot, rebound in front, and it was blown dead pretty quickly. I think the net a little off its bearings, or it was off his helmet.
Yeah, straight off of the cage of Matus there. So as soon as the puck's hitting the cage of the keeper, they're always going to blow it down just to make sure he's safe and nothing's wrong.
Yeah, you saw him put his hand up. I think that's just to let the ref Dave Gow know there that he'd like a whistle just to recover. You know, as much as those helmets are padded and very expensive, they still feel you feel a ring, especially on a good shot like that, right to the face. So it's probably for the best to blow that down.
And it's also possible that one of those straps can fly open or pop off, and it becomes quite a dangerous position to be in.
Can you believe there was a time when they didn't use a mask?
No, I can't. I've not. Well, you see all the photos of goalies back in the day, their faces just welted up, but no, I can't imagine how you could get in the net and face a shot.
Probably explains why everyone thinks goalies are crazy.
I mean, they're crazy with all the padding.
Absolutely.
And without it, it makes it even crazier. Skirmish for it at the point line and kept in by Wellen. Plays it down low. Finally chipped out by the Falcons. Cinco giving chase, but he's going to work against the captain, Zach Steele, who gives this one away. Falcons might have an opportunity out of it. They battle for it along the near boards. Josh Holland drops this off to Zoltarov and pushed forward by the Blackhawks. And nice work from Jared Siemens once again. Siemens starting to become pretty dangerous in this game.
Yeah, and dangerous over the whole league as well. He's really putting up some games against those top 3 teams as well. He's become quite a factor for them.
Steele slips it through traffic. Machos tried to get around Damon Hode, and Hode will just slap this right back to Zach Steele. Steele off to Machos, off his skate, and Zoltarov pinching deep off the board. Zoltarov, he's down deep. Zoltarov evades one man, back to Shiansky. Shiansky, Pete King's gonna see that all day, but there's a big rebound there. Cinco shovels it forward, another big rebound in the slot. Falcons not there to scoop it up, and it's banked all the way down low. Trinka has to play it through traffic, is chipped off, kept in by Foster. Foster spinning away off one man, but Connor Smith is back there to strip him of the puck. And now he's got speed down the right wing. Connor Smith between the legs, picked up by Foster. Back out, but not clearing the zone. Hode keeps it in. Foster there again. Foster up the center of the ice. He's got a man with him on the wing. Foster out wide, and Caleb Starr overskated that one as Tomlinson turns it the other way for the Falcons. Tomlinson wide. Tomlinson with space. Tomlinson shoots, and it goes around the boards. Well, Tristan Reese pinching in.
The intensity has just jumped up a little bit here in the last minute and a half. Just end-to-end action.
Really has, as Zach Steele tries to lead a man onwards, but he led himself offside.
It was really good to see that intensity pick up, but I think unfortunately the things the Falcons have been doing here is they haven't been playing the same way they have the last couple of games. They really haven't dictated the play. They haven't been all over the Blackhawks. I don't know if that comes with knowing that this game's probably more winnable than others. I don't know if that's the mentality they had, that they had to play a different style, because for me, if they play exactly the same way they have the last couple of games, they'd be winning right now.
For me, it's just they just haven't challenged Pete King enough. They're not getting any traffic to the front of the net. You just saw before they had a couple of nice chances, but a big rebound off Pete King's pad, no one there to pick it up.
No, and that's what they did so well against us when we beat them 6-4, is that they really pick up dirty goals in front of the net, lots of traffic, lots of rebounds. You know, I'll be the first to blame myself for a few of those, but they were in the right positions every time, and that's what they haven't been doing as well here tonight.
Long pass ahead to Kyle Collier. Collier down low, chips it forward. Hearn fans on the shot. Collier, he started to get up and about, creating some opportunities. A guy that I know the Blackhawks were keen to get healthy and back in the lineup. You can see some of the difference he can make.
Yeah, he just adds a little bit of extra speed out on the wing, and that line's actually been pretty dangerous tonight as well.
Here he is again. Collier down low, centering play. He's putting the puck in the right spot, but no Blackhawks there. Hearn keeps it in. He's down low. Collier in front. Matus Trinka with maybe a goal-saving poke check to put that into the neutralized territory. What a job by the goaltender to break that up. Siemens lays a big hit on Cinco.
Yeah, definitely a goal-saving poke check there. If that gets through, it's an empty net. He's got that puck to tap into, so great job from Matus.
Poke checks are extremely underrated. They're very effective, and sometimes they make that slight little difference.
An early goal, 3 minutes in from Caleb Starr, the difference for the Blackhawks as Zoltarov backhands this one into the corner. Tristan Reese tries to get around his man. It goes back to the point, kept in by Shiansky. Flicks this one in behind the goal. Keane tried to tip it towards the net. Blackhawks backhand this, but not out as Damon Hode keeps it in. Henry Keane centering play. Zoltarov just fanned on the shot a little bit. He didn't get it the way he wanted. It just kind of fluttered up, and it was easy for Pete King to block that away as Zoltarov bumps off Machos. And this goes all the way back for Damon Hode.
And a nice little play from Henry Keane there behind the net as well to squeak it through some traffic and get to Zolly wide open on the point.
8 minutes into the second period, intensity's picked up, but again, the only difference was early on that goal 3 minutes into the game from Caleb Starr. Halfway through the second period, don't forget, we're going to have an intermission show on the game today. Sammy Mantier. Don't know if you've ever heard of him before. He's going to be on joining us to talk a little bit about the Adelaide Adrenaline and what's coming up in the offseason as this one trickles away and Zach Steele has to get that back. But if you have any questions for Sammy, again, pop them down in the comments and I'll try to get to them when we're talking to Sammy in the intermission. I know we have some loyal followers back home watching all the way from, Canada to Victor Harbor. On the right side, Ambrose Foster tries to lead a man ahead, trying to slip in behind. There was the goal scorer, Caleb Starr. Braden Lesky was there. He banks off a man, but the Falcons going the other way with it. Connor Smith pinching up. Connor Smith with space, rips a shot. That one goes wide, and Damon Hode not in position to keep this one in and the attack going for the Falcons.
And a shout out to any of those boys if they are watching from Victor Harbor tonight as well. They are very loyal supporters of this sport.
Here go the Blackhawks again. Zach Steele, center, he'd play in front. Foster was there, battled away with a Falcon, and the Dirty Birds will try to go the other direction. Swiped out in front of it. Cinco gets this forward, and Cinco is absolutely crushed at the blue line from Zach Steele. My goodness, you can feel that one from the commentary booth.
He's a big body as well. He's not one you want to get in front of.
See if we get that on replay, as that is Connor Smith going high off the boards, but what a big hit. Here it comes. Look at the blue line where this hit comes.
If you notice Cinco here, he actually takes the hit to make the play. That puck's in the zone, and then all of a sudden it's out the zone. Obviously, you don't like taking those hits, but I think the whole team respects that, because that's probably a scoring chance that's been taken away just by getting hit. So that was really
definitely
good.
got it out of the zone, removes the scoring opportunity.
Falcons off the draw, push it forward. Cinco had 2-2 last time they played, looking for his first tonight, and Cinco gets shoveled into the corner and gets pushed down to the ice from James Hearn. I think the Blackhawks just doing a better job of being a bit more physical of the two teams, to be honest. Banked off the boards, Reese Page, you don't want to give him space. He slows it down, goes to the middle of the ice, pace, creates a shooting lane, glove down by Trinka. Ryan Leinen plays this down and banks it off the boards, much to the dismay of Tyson Boyd, and Pete King comes all the way out to play this towards the bench. Oh, it could have been too many men on both of the teams. Instead, the puck just collected in front of both the teams' benches, and skating back to grab this one is Kyle Collier.
Yeah, good no call there on the too many men.
Here's a chance for Siemens. Siemens cuts in front of the net. Siemens, oh, Matus Trinka with the blocker save. Siemens was looking dangerous. He created space, but the young goaltender turns him aside.
It's amazing to watch Matus set up on a breakaway as well, how calm he is and how quickly he can get into position.
Front, backhanded play. Riccardi couldn't handle on it, but you're right, absolutely right, Ryan Fole, right where it needed to be. The other way, Zoltarov, auction has picked up. Back and forth, some good scoring opportunities for both these teams as this backhand's out of play. Not a lot of goals, but some good opportunities like Jared Siemens.
Going back to that, just before that pass was made from Reese Page, Siemens found some space. It was a really good pass from Page. Really good move from Siemens to cut through the middle too. And obviously Trinka, top of the crease. That was an amazing save. He's giving me a smile here. He knows exactly what's coming. He's going to be watching that one back because he loves to watch them.
Yeah, he'll probably be able to watch himself on one of the plays of the game, because that's one of them for sure so far.
It's a 1-0 game, and Matus Trinka has been a big reason why it's just one for the Blackhawks and not a few more. Zach Steele banks this in, gives a little "how you doing" to Josh Holland. Matt Joss pinching down low, drops it off to Steele, who gives the old stiff arm to Cinco. Steele around the boards. Henry Keene's going to be the first one there. Chops this forward, but not out. Kick from Riccardi to Steele. Steele back to Riccardi. Riccardi settles it down, but by the time he has the puck collected, he's already buried into the corner, and Henry Keene will just chop this forward. It'll be a foot race for it. It will be icing if they want it, and that's exactly what Pete King wants.
Yeah, look, there's no reason, especially, I mean, if anything, King is one of the best puck players in the league, but there's no reason to risk that pass when you've got the chance of having the face-up in the O-zone. I mean, that's a really simple decision there from him, and it's a really good one too.
Draw coming to the right of Matus Trinka. He's made a few pretty good saves. An action-packed second period in a one-goal game. You love to see it. Love a good close contest on a good TV game. Wherever you're watching on NITV, Spacequake Sports, the Ice Arena, Channel 44. Bringing you all the ice hockey action from the Ice Arena on beautiful Ghana land here in Adelaide, South Australia. Cinco chips this forward. Knocked off the puck from Zach Steele, but it goes right to Henry Keene. Backhanded play in front of the net. Nobody was there. Keene chases his own rebound. Scramble for it in front. Blackhawks clear. If they could have got to it, it might have been a 2-on-1, but Jack Cinco gets there. Connor Smith leads it ahead to Holland. Kyle Cinco was going for a change, so this will go in behind the goal for Zach Steele. Steele plays it on to the right side. Holland chips this one back. Sorry, Tristan Reese this is, tripping it back around the boards. Intercepted though. Starr lays a body, creates a bit of a turnover, but Zoltarov was there right away, and he leads Quinton Tomlinson ahead. It's a foot race for it. Tomlinson gets there first, fires a shot. Pete King makes his toughest save to date off a quick shot from Quinton Tomlinson.
Again, another simple challenge from Kingy. Because they're such small nets, you just have to play the angles right, and the experience Kinga has, Quentin has to do something different, whether it's a move, whether it's just a slightly quicker shot just to catch him off guard, because the moment he's set, you're not getting it past him.
Yeah, nice hustle from the Blackhawks D-man there. Just to force Quentin out wide there, just gives Pete a bit more time to set up.
Pete King, the juggler, blocker to the glove.
Interesting backhand slap shot from Quentin. You don't see that very often
Did you just say he needed to do something different, Jeremy?
He does. And you know what? That caught Kingy off guard, so I'm more than happy to see more backhand slap shots from Thompson.
Got a few cheers from the good crowd here at the Ice Arena watching this on a Wednesday night. Loose puck in front, fires one in on goal. King with a glove save, scramble for it in front of the net. Falcons can't quite get there. Collier trying to clear the zone. Zoltarov upends him, and Nick Welland will grab this in the corner. Welland tries a cross-ice pass, but it's almost a turnover. And finally, the Blackhawks get it out. Reese Page was looking for Tyson Boyd. Connor Smith, slippery past one, slippery past two. He's got the goalie to beat. Oh my goodness! What a save from Pete King! Centering play in front, play still alive. Shot from Tomlinson. It's a mad scramble for it. Tomlinson tries to play it down low. Connor Smith had everybody beat but the goaltender.
Boy, oh boy, wasn't that a move, or 3 moves from Connor Smith to just evade 3-4 guys up the middle as well. Great use of the speed that he has.
Tyson Boyd slaps one through. Big rebound in the slot in the danger area. But Henry Shiansky's there to clear that one away. Can't wait to watch that one on replay and see what just happened. But what a play from young Connor Smith, and what a save from Pete King. Back behind the net, Tristan Reese, centering play alone in the slot. Pete King comes out and makes another save. It's the Pete King show right now for the Blackhawks, keeping the donut on the board. My goodness.
Yep, and the Falcons really applying the heat at the moment as well here. Here's those beautiful moves.
You see it on your screen though, all 3 players were caught flat-footed. Great job by Smith to keep his feet moving. He's going to blow past them, and then simple move to his backhand. Kinger makes an unreal save there, stretching the leg out. And sometimes that's all you need to do, because it cuts down the angle when the puck's so close to your leg. They just can't lift it over you without getting it over the net.
Pete King with a few 10-bell saves. He made one later in that shift too. You kind of hope Connor Smith can bury that one just because it would be a highlight reel goal, but an even better save. At least he got that shot off.
Yeah, we're gonna have a Blackhawks power play here, just as we were speaking there. Josh Holland going to the box, so all that hard work's just come undone now. They're going to have to kill this penalty to keep it a 1-goal game going into third.
Well, one interesting thing I've noticed with tonight's game is obviously both teams very aware of the fact they've got like amazing goalies in front of them. So they've both been looking for cherry picks and breakaways and things like that. And it's left a little bit of defensive liabilities out there, but the goalies have done their jobs and bailed them out even more.
Siemens behind the net. They're on the Agile Group power play for 2 minutes or less, and Siemens walks in front, and he trickles one just wide. Machos there on the rebound in the corner, working against Connor Smith. Machos gets it to the point. Riccardi winds, fires, shoots, tipped, and that one goes wide. It was the right idea, had the body in front, and it's finally cleared by the Falcons. $1:35 to go on the power play for the Falcons. It'll end around that 30-second mark on your screen. Here comes Machos. He escapes Smith. Flicks it across, Star, and Trinka's there, glove down. Machos fires this one off, and Trinka makes a nice save. Pete King has one, Trinka has another. It's a goaltender's battle.
It's amazing to watch these two move around their net. I think if anything, Trinka's a lot more aggressive and a lot more athletic with those big pushes side to side, but you can see that head, he's just tracking the puck the whole time. Knows exactly where it is, and his body's just following him, and that just shows great goaltending.
Tyson Boyd wins the draw cleanly. Zach Steele holds the line. Right side. Collier to Steele. They've setting something up now. Collier, once again, has big pressure there, and it was almost a good play from Damon Hope to clear the zone. Blackhawks keep it up, though. Steele drops it to Boyd. Cross ice pass to Hearn. Winds, fires, shot, tipped in front. Steele banks home the rebound. Zach Steele knocks it home, and the Blackhawks have a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, and Zach Steele just picking up a lucky bounce off of a defender by the looks of it.
It was, but again, the whole idea of the penalty kill with those 4 guys there is that you're not letting anyone in the middle. Yeah, your job as a penalty kill unit is to keep it to the outside and let your goalie make those saves. It's an unfortunate event for Trinka and net for the Falcons. But it was a really simple power play execution, and probably a little bit of a simple mistake there from the PK.
That's it. And just like that last stream game that we had last Wednesday, the penalties and the power plays really come into factor here with Blackhawks scoring late in the period when Falcons couldn't get one on the board when they had the power play in the first.
That's a big difference. It's a great point, Ryan, as it's now a 2-0 game. They scored a goal early in the first and late in the second. This game, long way from being over. The Falcons have created a lot of chances, but Pete King has been a massive pain in the rear end for these Falcons. Shot in on goal as Trinka holds on that one. So 26 seconds to go in a 2-0 game for the Blackhawks.
Yeah, it's a real tough one to watch as a goalie because you know very well that both of these are amazing goaltenders, and that also means that there's going to be a low-scoring game, and it also means that the Falcons have got to do even more to try and get one past King, which is going to leave Trinka even more exposed to risking more counterattacks and more goals against. So.
That's it, and I think the Falcons are due for a couple bounces going their way in the third as well. This game's far from over.
10 seconds to go. Hearn trying to just eat some seconds off the clock, goes into the neutral zone, played in behind the goal. Zach Steele grabs it with 5 seconds to go, and that should do it. He'll try a stretch pass ahead. Icing waved off, and that ends the period. So we started the game with Caleb Starr scoring 3 minutes in off of Ambrose Foster. A shot from James Hearn, big rebound in front. Zach Steele bangs it home with a minute to go. That's what you see on the screen. Where do we go from here, boys? It's a 2-0 game.
Well, Falcons are just going to have to play with a little bit higher risk in this third period when it comes to offense because, for one, they're just not doing enough for me to get in front of Pete King and cause some havoc. And the Blackhawks don't really have to change a whole lot. They're doing enough here. No,
they're doing exactly what they need to. And if anything, if I was Coach Smith, I'd be telling the boys in blue to just try and focus up, keep it simple, probably play out of their defensive zone a little bit more. They're a defensive team, and they need to keep the pressure up.
Eric, Ryan, and Jeremy with you at the Ice Arena. The Blackhawks have a 2-0 lead. We'll be back after this with Coach Sammy Mantier sharing his wisdom in the Intermission show. We'll see you on the other side. Da-na-na-na-na-na. I feel like we should have a theme here, Sammy Mantier, at the intermission show. We need to work on that for the next one.
Look at Hockey Night in Canada.
Da-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Aussie style. Yeah.
We'll work on that. Either way, if that wasn't clear enough, Eric Ballnar joined by Coach Sammy Mantier. You played for the Jokers this year. You've been well, actually, I wanted to ask you about that first. You've been relegated more to the A's, I feel like, this year, getting the occasional call-up to the team. Is that a bit of a shot to the ego? What's going on there?
No, I think ego is long gone. I know my place within the organization now, so I'll take anything I can get.
All right, well, Coach Glenn Winkler, maybe that's a cryptic message somewhere in there to give Sammy some play time in the A's.
Yeah, that'd be nice, but look, it's hard to keep up with the older days, and the young guys are skating pretty well, so it seems to be working, so why change?
Well, I mean, the Jokers are off to a flying start, and we'll get to them a bit later, but I feel like a lot of players on that Jokers team might be on the adrenaline going forward in the future. I feel like just from being around the rink, there seems like there's going to be some healthy competition for spots whenever the AIHL gets back up and running for the adrenaline.
Yeah, I mean, that's the goal, and I think that's one thing that, with all due respect to the adrenaline teams in the past, they've been lacking, is that real competition for spots, really players pushing each other for the spots, and yeah, we're getting there, and a lot of young guys, and they want to play. They've shown that they want to win, they can compete, so what better way than to make progress than that?
So how do you keep guys in shape, ready to go? Because the way things are looking, it's going to be almost 2 years between when the adrenaline last played and then when they eventually play again. It's so hard to plan a season in COVID. You don't know if there's going to be a tournament. You don't know what's happening. So how do you keep an adrenaline team together?
Yeah, I think just the fitness side of things, I think for us it's actually probably easier than most of the other teams because we got a lot to prove. Our guys, they are ready to get on the ice. They want to show that what's happened the last couple of years, that's in the past now. Huge turnaround in players, and yeah, they've seen how much it can suck when you struggle. So they've got too much pride, professional pride, hockey pride. So that's kind of driving a lot of them to work hard, and yeah, just showing the whole big audience around Australia what they can do.
Now, Dino on the live stream actually had an interesting question about the different styles of play. So if you're playing, a lot of the guys might be playing on the Jokers, let's say. You've got your Nate Bensons, your Jake Rileys. How do you go from playing one style of hockey, maybe in Premier League, to another one in the AIHL?
I mean, look, that's a struggle for probably every player, whether it's the Jokers or any other team, but that's what we're practicing, right? We're doing a lot of work on systems, a lot of work on that side already, and been doing since last year to make sure that once the season starts, we've got the systems in play. That's going to be a huge advantage in Australian Ice Hockey League, is having proper systems. Even the better teams, it's really gung-ho kind of type of hockey. So yeah, if we can have a good structure, that's good. The other thing is a lot of the younger guys, I've had the pleasure of working them in the juniors as well, junior programs, whether it's Tans or Bantam. So it's kind of starting from there already, and now we're just taking the next step.
So are you kind of hoping that by the time the season rolls around, at least there's a system and a structure that you can kind of default back into, and it doesn't matter who's in the lineup, they should understand what's going on?
Yeah, getting the idea. So we're already, it's looking pretty good in trainings. It's just next step is to make it natural, so we don't think about it. So they're taking it from the paper and reading and putting in a structured situation to what can we do on a 5-on-5 situation.
Then what's the balance between coaching and putting in a system for the adrenaline? And obviously AIHL is another level there, but then applying that to a whole other team strategy that you're seeing on these Wednesday nights in Premier League, for instance.
I think players got to adapt, and I think the best players, and especially you want to play at the top level, you need to learn to adapt. It's not like even for adrenaline, we're going to go with one system and that's it. We got to be able to match ourselves based on teams, so that's just another practice of finding another rhythm.
Sammy, I appreciate you joining us in this intermission, and quickly before we go, in 20 seconds or less, prediction for the rest of this game tonight.
Blackhawks are looking good. I reckon one more goal for Zach Steele.
One more goal for Zach Steele. You heard it. Eric Ballnar, Sammy Mantier here at the Ice Arena. The third period, brought to you by the Ice Arena coming up. Thanks for joining us, Sammy.
Thank you.
Eric Balnar, Ryan Fohl, Jeremy Friedrich bringing you all the action, getting set for a grandstand finish. It's a 2-0 lead for the Blackhawks. We just heard from Sammy Mantier. He's off to watch Finland versus Russia in the Euros. He's excited about that. Answer a couple fan questions for Sammy. We've got one from a fan here, and this one's for Ryan Fohl. Ryan, you're affectionately known by the fans as Ryan the Rocket Fohl due to your explosive speed demonstrated on the ice.
Wow.
Do you think this nickname ignores your equally astonishing display of agility in both offensive and on the back check?
Yeah, well, I've been stitched up on this one for sure. Not sure who's asked in, but thank you for the feedback. I'll take it on board, but definitely not. That's for sure.
And Jeremy, one for you out of curiosity too. I mean, we saw a play earlier in the game where sliding across the ice, Pete King knocked the net off its bearings. Last week, the same sort of thing. Right before the Red Wings thought they scored a goal, all of a sudden the net was conveniently off the net and the goal was waved off. So is that a thing? Tell me, do the goalies strategically use what we know is a bit of a soft bearings in the ice? Do the goaltenders use that to their advantage?
I actually had a very interesting chat to one of the referees last game about it, where they told me off about putting the net back on. They said that it's their job to put the nets back on, and that all we have to do is worry about making the saves. So I'd like to think that we do it just because there's a chance to make a save there, and we have to go out 100% to make that save. That being said, we've got some pretty cheeky, smart goalies in the league, me obviously not being one of them, that would sometimes kick the net off if they see a chance that might result in a goal.
You mentioned that frustrates you because we've seen it now twice. One on the end from Matus, one on the end from Pete King, where the net's been off its bearings just from a couple kicks across.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, like I said as well, they are designed to come off, but goalies, I think, do get away with it sometimes, just intentionally nudging it off, just to get a whistle, get a change, but, you know, it's all a game.
Yeah, I think we just do enough to get in all the players' heads because we can't really do anything else. So, except for maybe Matus Trinka starting a couple of fights here and there.
Well, it's an interesting goaltender match in this one. I know you had to look at the shots earlier, and it's pretty close on the end. And just a couple bounces. One on a nice one-time shot from Caleb Starr in the first period, and then a rebound that Zach Steele buried home late in the second to make it a 2-0 game that gives Pete King an advantage over Matus Trinka.
It does. The shot count was 21-19 for the Falcons, which we found a little bit surprising, but that being said, both teams have done a really good job of putting pressure on the goalies when they needed to and having lots of counter-attacking plays. So
yeah, and I just overheard a little bit from Coach Corey Smith's chat with the Falcons in the change room, and the big thing for them is get traffic in front of the net. Take away Pete King's eyes, and then you'll find some lanes and a couple goals here. They're definitely not out of this, just more traffic in front of the net.
No, but especially as the game goes on, and I think Ryan can atone to this with that performance they had against the Red Wings. The goalie gets settled into a game. It becomes so much harder as the game goes on, and Villani ended up getting the shutout in that game just because he was settled in and he just kept going. And the more the game went on, the more he was settled in and made the simple saves.
Now, could the intermission actually play a negative factor for a goaltender, knowing that before the season it was just you switch ends and keep playing? Now you got to go sit for 15 minutes, get out of his zone.
It does. I think it really changes things up. You have to come back out, re-stretch, re-get warm, really settle in again, and it's going to make a difference here, and we'll see how he takes it.
Third period underway. Blackhawks Falcons on NITV and Space Quake Sports. Both teams looking for a desperate win. Eric Balnar, Jeremy Friedrich, Ryan Fohl calling the action for you. It's a 2-0 Blackhawks lead, and a quick shot in from Andrew Zoltarf. He's one of the players that we focused on earlier in the game. Needed to make an impact. Hasn't quite found the back of the net.
Nah, been pretty solid defensively, but yeah, exactly. We need to see a little bit more from him offensively. Him and Connie, you see him out on the ice now. They're going to need to have a big period here.
And I think Coach Smith puts a lot of weight on their shoulders offensively as well. Falcons, being a defensive team, need to have a lot more production from their defensemen because they're going to make a difference jumping up on the play.
Swivel and fire from Connor Smith, and it's picked up in the corner by Reese Page. Banks it off the boards. Grabbed again is Page, circling down low. He's got a couple blue jerseys swarm around him. Page back behind the net. Chips it right side. Collier, nice play ahead to Zach Steele. He collides into Connor Smith. And big meets small, and Connor Smith sent Zach Steele to the deck.
Yeah, he's just caught Zach with his head down there. It's a lovely hit.
Stretch pass ahead as Shiansky can't hold on to that one. He could have been away 2-on-1. Instead, Zach Steele picks it up. Rebound in front. Pete King had to get down and make a big save. Josh Holland back at it. Falcons looking for an early goal. They've controlled most of the play, but the puck is going to just squeeze out into the neutral zone and in behind the goal as Pete King had to make a quick save off a turnover.
Yeah, and just like you said, just start this period here, that ice cut gives the Falcons a chance just to reset down 2-0, and it's almost a disadvantage for the Blackhawks as well, like you said, because they've come out pretty hot here.
It does. I think it gives the game a chance to reset and get that momentum back to even. You know, when a team scored late in a period, like the Blackhawks did before, they were carrying all the momentum into that break, and these 15 minutes have really given the chance for the Falcons to settle down, regroup, and come out better.
Tristan Reese on the forecheck creates a turnover for Quinton Tombelson. He's banged on the boards. Shot in off the point, knocked down, and Hearn leads Ambrose Foster ahead. It just clunks off his stick and goes into the corner. Foster centering play. Lesky with a shot in on net. It doesn't even make it to goal before a Falcon picks this up, and it's a weird bounce off the board. Hearn trying to get in there. Foster couldn't quite get the shot off. Foster collects it again. Fires one through and scores! Ambrose Foster with a shot from the point. It has eyes, and it's 3-0 Blackhawks.
And I think you'll see there it takes a slight deflection off the stick in front of him and ramps up. It's another tough one for Matus to read, but that's what the Blackhawks have done well all night. Get pressure in front of the net. That's what the Falcons are going to need to do from here.
And probably a very, very big plus for Ambrose Foster. First goal as a Blackhawk, his first goal of the season in Premier comes against his old team. I think that'll be a really good confidence booster for him. And now the Blackhawks have a real chance to put this game to bed if they keep the momentum.
It's a goal and an assist now as the Falcons go right back to work. Shiansky fires that one through, but yeah, Ambrose Foster set up Caleb Starr earlier in the game, and to make it 3-0, Ambrose Foster has scored his second point of the night.
Yeah, and against his old club, just like you said, you play with that little bit of extra edge when you're facing your old squad, and he's having a good game.
And Ambrose was unlucky. He got hurt early in the year on a kind of a freak injury running into the side of the boards. Hasn't been really fully healthy until now.
It's good to see him come back out with that kind of energy. I think an injury can either really harm a player or it can actually really benefit them. You know, you've been sitting out, you've had a chance to watch, you've had a chance to probably get back to full fitness and everything like that and really come out ready to make a huge difference for your team.
Turnover off the draw, going the other way is Jared Siemens. Done everything but score in this game, but now he cuts to the ice. Great move, Siemens! Oh, I think Trinka got a piece of it. Siemens had an extra gear that he just blasted through some defenders, and now he has the puck again. Siemens getting chased all the way back to the point, and the Blackhawks will skate this, or the Falcons rather, will skate this one out. It's Andrew Zoltarov, flutters one in on goal. Kowalchuk handles the rebound off Pete King's shoulder, and it goes back out to the neutral zone. Falcons need to press for a goal here and get themselves back in this hockey game. Shiansky cuts to the net. Pete King steers that aside. Zach Steele in behind the goal, trying to keep this alive. Kowalchuk helping him out. Kowalchuk gets tied up by Cinco, trying to create some sort of turnover. The Blackhawks should be able to clear the zone, upended at the blue line, but the Falcons have to clear regardless. Cinco re-enters the zone, steered aside by Kowalchuk. Holland delivers a hard hit off the boards, and it goes back into the Blackhawks zone, collected by Zach Steele.
Yeah, great job from the Blackhawks there defensively, just to absorb all that offensive pressure from the Falcons, not allow too many
Leading pass ahead, Zach Steele. Oh, he had a man in front of the net, and he couldn't quite convert the pass.
And come back the other way, just like I was saying there. So great job from the Blackhawks.
Not sure what happened there on the Falcons defense either. Steele just walked in with so much space. You really can't afford to have that happen when you're down by 3 goals. It's not over yet, and they've really started playing like it might be.
Yeah, you've seen goals be scored in bunches against both of these teams before. So this game, along from being over, it just might take one positive bounce going the Falcons' way. That's not going to help, though. A turnover as Kyle Collier swipes forward at this one. Tyson Boyd going to grab it for the Blackhawks in along the near boards. Goals from Starr and Steele and Foster have a 3-0 lead ahead as this goes in offside, and some nice saves from Pete King 5 minutes into the third.
He's really settled in, coming back from injury. It's probably the perfect game for him to come back to as well. It's a good chance for him to get settled without probably being left out to dry like the Blackhawks have had against some of the other teams. That being said, they've played a lot better, so I think it'd be really, really good to see what difference Pete King can make to of the games against the top three.
Yeah, his defenders have really helped him out tonight, and even his forwards as well. They're doing a really good job defensively. So yeah, helping him settle back in.
Cinco tries to poke forward, and Lesky upends him, but Holland creates a turnover. Holland with some space. Holland in tight. Holland tries to go above the shoulder of Pete King, but King makes the save.
Great save and great puck control from Josh Holland there to hold on to that through traffic.
Holland will scoop this up at the center line, but I think we might have a call here.
Just offside.
Just offside.
Delayed offside, yeah.
Here's the play.
Great move from him there, just to get that to his forehand and then to evade. I'm not sure. D probably didn't need to keep going that far. I think that's what one of our national team coaches would call a handbag, where you just swing past, swing your stick at him, and then keep skating. That's probably not what you want to be doing when you're the last man back. Yeah, really good move there from Holland.
Siemens going the other way, works wide. Blackhawks playing with some confidence right now that they're building on the lead. You think they had some confidence spill over from a pretty good loss in a game that they were in all the way? It was tied at one point versus the Tigers on Monday night.
Yeah, definitely. They're playing with a bit of swagger lately. You can see it as well, and they're clicking on all cylinders. Like all their lines are working well. They're passing the puck around with a bit of purpose.
You definitely don't hear a good loss being thrown around very often, but you're absolutely right. They were playing a team that was probably a little bit out of their depth, and they did a really good job to keep it competitive that whole game.
Yeah, well, you would call it a good loss as well, because last time we played them before that was 13-0, so it's a huge difference.
Kowalchuk slides us through. And last time they played the Falcons, remember, they lost 7-1. Now they're up 3-0, trying to hold on these last 10 minutes, but still a little bit of distance to go here. And Shiansky cuts to the front of the scores! There's the break the Falcons need it. Henry Shiansky has made this a hockey game.
Yeah, that's a great individual effort as well. He's just found all the space that he could find and put it in a really nice spot as well.
Yeah, it looks like some vintage Joey Rezek there. Perfect pass from Zoltarov straight out to Shiansky that was head-mending the play. Really good move to get that across, and he's just got that under the arm of Pete King there, which is an unfortunate goal to give up.
The old classic against the grain.
It is.
Drive one way and shoot it back the other.
And it's very effective. You know, we talked about making the goalies move, and that's exactly what you need to do. It's that little move right before the shot that makes a huge difference, because as a goalie, you don't know whether you commit to that little drag or whether you stay in the same spot. It really opens up the net for the shooter if they do that extra move there.
Well, they went down 3-0 at about the 15-minute mark. At that point, you probably break the game into 3 5-minute segments. Try to grab a goal every 5 minutes, and they've got one. Can they get a second before the 5-minute mark? Tomlinson slaps one through, almost trickles through.
Yeah, and you can see straight away the jump it's given them. So, yeah, if they can get another quick one here, it's game on.
And it'll be interesting to see how that top line of the Blackhawks and just the leaders on that Blackhawks team react to this as well. They obviously haven't had too many leads this season, but it's important for these guys to step up now when it matters most, because this is a huge 3 points they could be picking up.
Tomlinson wins the draw, rebound in front. Pete King makes the big save. Hearn scoops it back towards the goaltender, but Jack Cinco got a good shot through traffic.
Yeah, that is a big save too. Yeah, I don't know how well he tracked that, but he's managed to cover it, and with Keane hanging around the front of the net there, if that pops out, that's a goal. So great job holding on to it.
Draw one again from the Falcons. It's tied up at the face-off circle. Tomlinson looks to get it to the point, but Braden Lesky's there, and it's an outlet pass on the right side. Caleb Star has one, and he's got a second! Off the post, off the body, and in. And there's that secondary scoring. Caleb Star with his second of the night.
Yeah, and a little bit of a collapse in their offensive end from the Falcons, if you want to call it. Quinn Tomlinson's got a bit of time, just a no-look pass up to the point.
Yeah,
gets picked off and creates a turnover.
That turnover started the whole play. Real good early leave of the zone there from Caleb Star as well. It was good to see him notice that his team had the puck and that he could leave. And you could see that off the post, off Trinker's back, and then off his butt end as he tried to swing back. Definitely one he'd like to have back, and unfortunate one for the Falcons here.
No quit yet in the Falcons. They walk right back to it as Josh Holland rips a shot wide. Shiansky scored not too long ago to make it 3-1. Pete King smothers that to eat up some time. That was the worst case scenario for the Falcons.
Yeah, that's it. And now they're going to need to get one on the board in the next couple of minutes. Otherwise, that time's going to run out on them way too quickly.
It will, and you're going to look at the leaders, just like we said with the Blackhawks just before. You look at the leaders on the Falcons. They're an experienced team with a lot of guys that have been playing for a long time, so you don't think that it would get to their heads just yet.
Puck can't be cleared. Holland hauled down. Machos picks it up. And Welland will skate this out for the Blackhawks. Welland's got Siemens on the far left side, just stays onside. Welland chips down low. Connor Smith working against him. Shiansky knocks down the puck, shot through traffic. Cinco trying to clear, and it's scooped up by Connor Smith, who pushes this forward and skates around Dave Madsen. Big body working against one of the younger players in the competition, and it goes all the way around the boards back to Shiansky. Played back behind the goal. Madsen picks this one up. Back around the boards. And Shiansky creates a turnover. A couple nice moments for Henry Shiansky in this third period. Zoltarov. Falcons still not out of it, but they're going to need a couple goals in a hurry to get themselves back in it.
Yeah, that's it. Doing a good job of keeping the puck in their own zone, but just keeping it a little too wide. They need a pressure in front in that slot.
Machos, left side, stops with space around the sprawling defender in front of the net, and Matus Trinka shuts the door. It was a cool looking play though.
It was, and that could have been a very, very good looking goal too, but Trinka did everything right. It's a simple save that sometimes can go wrong way too easily when a guy's falling down and trying to shoot at the same time. Real good move and patience from Machos too. You see that passing lane get taken away from Holland, and he still comes back in and tries to make that play.
Flooded into a defender and still got the shot off. Now a turnover created by Kyle Collier. Pushes this forward. Trinka makes the save. And, well, honestly, Pete King on the other end for the Blackhawks being a big difference. You think back to that breakaway that Connor Smith had, and then a couple saves later. It's a whole new complexion if Pete King isn't playing the way he is.
And that comeback from injuries really affected him well. I think he's had time to get back to that full fitness and really come back and make a difference for his team, which they've needed throughout the season.
Tomlinson trying to create footsteps in the back of Pete King's mind. Tyson Boyd picks it up and bursts up ice. Works around Damon Hode. Boyd on the backhand. Shoveled down into the corner. He'll play this off for Hearn, who will work against Cinco. Cinco battling away, and Tyson Boyd goes to keep the offensive pressure sustained by the Blackhawks. Puck box free. Tyson Boyd. Good control. This is all the Blackhawks need to do. Puck possession and maybe add one more. We put the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, exactly right. And well, what that shift does, it's a great shift, just like you said. All that does is eat up the clock.
But here's a turnover. Tomlinson onto the backhand, and a big save from Pete King. Rebound pops free. Richards couldn't get a stick on it. And the Blackhawks will try to settle it and poke it out again. Falcons keep it alive. That's one thing the Blackhawks can't do, is have turnovers like that. Falcons bank it off the boards, but it goes all the way back. Madsen leads a man ahead. Caleb Starr drops it off. Steele with a shot, and it's grabbed by Ambrose Foster, but here comes Josh Holland. Holland settles it, gets in a danger area, and swipes it towards net, and that one goes wide. Back towards the center of the rink. Scampering back is Ryan Leinonen. Josh Holland almost had another goal. He's got 10 points for the Falcons entering the game. Doesn't have any tonight. Henry Shiansky, the lone goal scorer, deflected wide in front of the net by Leski. This is cleared high and out of play.
Again, you're seeing no one moving the forwards out of Trinka's way. I think that's a real defensive liability that they've had. This replay here, though, real good interception from Tomlinson. Real nice move to the backhand and a good save from King there too.
Yeah, but that's the difference in the two teams tonight as well, right? It's the Falcons. Their opportunities have just been individual efforts. It's hard-working individual efforts rather than team structure in the offensive end from the Blackhawks. It's a huge difference, and it doesn't matter who you got in net. If you're going to set up well in your own end and make plays, it's going to go past the goalie.
Yeah, it's a great point, and that's what the Blackhawks have done well for most of the game. Falcons try to go the other direction. There first was Welland. Back towards Zoltaro, but he gives this away to Siemens. Siemens down the right side with some speed. He stops, pops, drops. Welland from the point, fires one through traffic. That's steered clear.
Great save from Trinka, but that was all Siemens. The space he created for himself. Here you're seeing that good play from Holland on your screen. That was obviously another good one where the pressure was all over the defenseman. But that play from Siemens just before, just making that sharp stop to keep everyone moving one way and him keep the puck up and then delay that and feed a right open man in Whelan.
time starting to become just too tall of a task for the Falcons, and the Blackhawks look like they'll move to 5 points on the standings as they sustain some more pressure. Steele drops it down low for Boyd. Ambrose Foster made it 3-0 earlier in the period. Shiansky briefly made it look like the Falcons would march a comeback when he made it 3-1 off of a turnover, but then Caleb Starr with a nice effort, and it got some puck luck to make it a 4-1 game, his second goal of the game. Caleb Starr has played very well today, and now I think there's going to be a penalty coming up to the Blackhawks, so the Falcons one last chance to make something happen.
Yeah, and it's going to need to be quick too, because this time is running. They got the 2 minutes stop time, but 3-goal lead. They're going to want to set up quickly here, get a quick one, and then they might be asking some questions.
Yeah, it looks like that call was a late hit on Zach Steele. Puck had gone already, and probably just a couple seconds too late there to follow that hit up. Probably not what you need, especially this late in the game when you're up by a few. No, not that it's very likely, but the Falcons could still get a good run of form here and get some momentum and potentially mount a comeback. You'd probably much rather be seeing something like just dominating possession from the Blackhawks, but that's all right. They're gonna kill this off and probably see the game out too.
Yeah, not much time to go.
Yep, 2 minutes 40 run on time here. It's running out for the Blackhawks. They're going to need to set up real quick again.
Draw coming out to the right side. Tombleson wins the draw, drops this off to Cinco. They got in the way of each other. Cinco tries to settle the puck. Tombleson kicks it to himself, turns, fires, and that is in the Blackhawks' favor as that goes out of play. Time still running, and $1:25 to go, and the penalty will probably see this out until just under the minute mark on the Agile Group power play.
Yeah, and whistles aren't the Falcons' friend at the moment. They need this to keep going here.
Draw won by the Falcons. Kick back out to the point. Holland across to Zoltarov. Wines, fires! That one flutters a little bit wide. Holland picks it up once again. Blackhawks chip this out. Foster clears the zone with just under a minute to go on the Agile Group power play. And the Blackhawks try to go on the tack while shorthanded. Trinka has to go back and play it behind his net. Trinka skating a little bit out of his net here. Chance for a goalie assist. Holland whips it across to Zoltarov. A nice quick play. Zoltarov fires the shot, scores!
We called that, an assist on Trinka.
Mateusz Trinka with the assist, but that was set up from a nice pass from Josh Holland. And with 1:32 to go, the clock will stop and it's 4-2.
Yeah, and it's something we haven't really seen from the Falcons all game. Quick puck movement through the neutral zone, entering the offensive zone with some purpose. There's 2-3 blue jerseys around the net there. Just a great job.
It was, and again, we were talking about Trinket coming out of his net to make plays. That's him dictating the play. You need that from a goalie that can move the puck. And I think both teams are really fortunate in that they have goalies that can move the puck so well. He can really come out and almost make that a 6-on-4, you know, when you've got the goalie breaking out for you. It makes it one more player that can go up in the rush.
And Coach Corey Smith here just calling the timeout, trying to have one last little crack at this. 1:32, still a bit of time. Looks like they'll probably pull the goalie pretty early here, you'd think, if they can get something set up.
You'd think so too, and you probably see a line very reminiscent of that power play line that we just saw. Probably the 5 best players the Falcons have. It was a really good play and a really good shot from Zoltarov too. It's made that game real interesting, and probably, not that it's very likely, but that penalty on Zach Steele could come back to bite the Blackhawks here, which is not something you want from your captain.
The Agile Group power play comes to an end. It is 4-2. Zoltarov scores the goal, and just a couple little moments I think the Falcons would like to have back, but they're not dead yet is the key word. An improbable comeback, but it's still possible.
Yeah, I've seen crazier things, Eric.
Draw one, and Josh Holland goes right up the ice, and nice job from a Blackhawks player to get a stick on it. We'll keep an eye on Mateusz Trinka and see if he leaves his net, but he's not going to get an opportunity if the Blackhawks have the puck. Controlled by Zoltarov. Back to Smith. Falcons really need to settle the play down, and going behind their own net isn't going to help. Zoltarov spins around one. Good job from the Blackhawks to create some pressure with just over a minute to go. They lead this ahead. Tombleson gets in deep. Keep an eye on Trinka to see if he leaves. He's inching out of his goal as it's kicked behind the net.
He's asking the question.
But the puck goes out, and with 50 seconds to go, this is going to be very difficult now for the Falcons from here. Settled down from Zoltarov, cuts to the net, big collision, it's going the other way. Matchos with space, Smith trying to get back, Trinka blockers it down, 40 seconds to go. Boyd knocks this down. Falcons try to go the other direction. Zoltarov trying to do it himself, shovels it forward. It pops free for Boyd, and that might just do it. Reese Page in space, drops it to Boyd. Boyd goes into the corner, and this is fine. They can play keep away all day long. Boyd drops this back off. Page in tight. That trickles out of play. 14 seconds to go, but that'll do it.
And unfortunately, Falcons just couldn't get set up in their own end and give that chance for Matus to skate to the bench for the extra attacker. So really good job from the Blackhawks as well.
It was. I was
it.
about to say that connection from Boyd and Page there, they actually did really well just to find each other like 3-4 times and create lots of space. That's what happens when the other team's not moving and you are.
Long shot in from the point. Goes back in the corner. Chipped around. Tyson Boyd loses control of the puck, and the Blackhawks will send this the length of the ice. King will intercept. He played a big part in the game as Pete King helps backstop the Blackhawks to their second win of the season, and they move up the ladder to 4th with their 5th point of the year.
That's their first win since round 1. That's going to be crucial. And the season's not over. They still have a fair way to go to catch the Tigers in 3rd place. But that being said, you never know. We're still about halfway through the season, so anything can happen. And I think that the confidence they're going to have here might carry through to their next game.
Yeah, and when you could see it tonight, they are playing with confidence. Credit to him as well, and it's great to see Pete King back in net. He's every chance to keep them in games from here on as well and give them that chance.
Absolutely. I'm really excited to play them next time. I think that's next Wednesday. It's going to be a really good game. I think it'll be a really good chance to see how these guys have come out since that last time we played them.
Yeah, they had a few key bodies in, and Pete King might be a bit of a difference maker for this team. Either way, the Blackhawks race out to a 4-2 win. Caleb Starr has 2 goals. Other goals were Zach Steele and Ambrose Foster, who had 2 assists. Zoltarov and Chiansky, the goal scorers for the Falcons. We'll wrap this up quickly, boys, but we need the 3 stars of the game. We'll start with a 3rd star. We'll start with you, Ryan Full. Who are you giving the 3rd star of the game?
So 3rd star, I'm going to give it to Matus Trinker. He's kept the Falcons in the game just to keep him in it. 2nd star, I'm going to go with Pete King. Obviously, huge comeback from him as well, but 2 goals from Caleb Starr for me is my 1st star.
Hard to disagree with that?
It is hard to disagree. Obviously, I'm a goalie, so I would give Kingy 1st star, but that's completely biased. That being said, he did play very well, and I think Caleb definitely deserves that mention too. An inliner who hasn't been playing for long on the ice and has made a real big difference tonight.
Well, that'll do it for us for Premier League action tonight. On behalf of Ryan Full, Jeremy Friedrich, producer Brandon, everybody at Spacequake Sports and at the Ice Arena, I'm Eric Bolnar saying good night. We'll catch ya for A-Grade.